Have you ever had an idea that was so clear it was like a 3D movie? Have you ever told a friend about the idea and they told you, wow, if you could only make that into a business, you would be rich? Sound familiar? Welcome to Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter, with my co-host, Roosevelt Williams III, and we're here to help you take action. This is free information. We only ask one thing: build a strong foundation and mindset. We have insight to help you get started. Most of us just need a push.
Are you in business? Better yet, are you serious about your business? Are you looking to scale your business? Well, as Mr. Black San Diego, as Mr. Gold Coast Classic, as Mr. Heritage, Mr. Someone You Should Know in San Diego, I would like to invite you to our annual Biz Time in beautiful San Diego, California at the San Diego Convention Center on Wednesday, August 5th and Thursday, August 6th. We'll be doing B2B. We'll be doing B2C and B to G. That's business to business, business to consumer, and business with the government. So you, yes you want to be here in San Diego, California, America's finest city, with the best and the brightest entrepreneurs from all around the world. Are you serious? Is the $1 million question. So don't delay. Get your tickets today.
Welcome. New episode of Knowledge to Currency. My name is Senator Porter, and I am with
Roosevelt Williams III.
And we're here with Andrew Kwan. And he's going to discuss everything from mortgage to the Burr Strategy and basically how he got involved in doing both.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to be in the presence of greatness of both of you guys. This is really exciting for me. Congratulations on your show. Everybody, if you get a chance, please subscribe. These guys are doing some great things. That. You know, sharing resources and networks all around. It's really great what you guys are doing.
Hey, well, first off, thank you so much for being on the show. I've been on this journey to meet people that I feel that have a message that other people could learn from. And you've always been somebody that I've admired and look forward to being with and then talking to and learning from.
You're a gregarious soul. Every time I've seen you, you've always had a smile on your face and a good time around you. So, being in the belly of the beast with you guys is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Most definitely.
So let's start first. Obviously, you're not from San Diego, so where are you from?
First of all, why is it obviously? No, so originally I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Went to high school back and forth between Ohio and Santa Barbara, California. After that, after high school, I went to Ohio State University. You'll see me at some local games here and there supporting my alumni. Nice. But other than that, I moved to San Diego about 20 years ago.
Yeah, so you don't like the Michigan Wolverines?
We don't say those words around here. So regardless of that, everything's good.
So what made you move to San Diego? Was it a job or the weather?
Great question. A little bit of everything, right? Okay. The economic opportunity, the weather, the people. I mean, it's hard to beat, right? Like anytime you got to look at four seasons in the face and it's negative 10 out somewhere versus 70 degrees, San Diego's got some things going for it.
Yeah, you still own a jacket or a coat?
I'm a traveling kind of guy, so I own a little bit of everything.
That's right.
I had to go back to Minnesota for once to get my title for my car. For whatever reason, in Minnesota, you have to physically go get your title. They won't send it to you. So it's January, and I need tabs and everything for my car here. Beautiful weather. I don't have a winter coat. Can't get one at Target. Oh. Fortunately, in Minnesota, everybody has several coats, so one of my homeboys picked me up from the airport. All I had was a hoodie, and it's negative, and he gave me one of his coats. But
I'll just share like a 10-second story that has changed my life. Really quick, I went to go visit my sister. We're Chinese, but my sister was teaching English in Korea. Okay. It was negative 15 over there. I was in San Diego. I was too busy. I didn't look up. Negative 15 degrees. I came off with a jacket. I got pneumonia. I got sick. I'm about to pass out and, expire in Korea. But through that, I checked the weather religiously every single day. I've never missed a day.
Knowledge of currency right there.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Check the weather app on your phone.
Please do. Please do.
So let's talk about, being in San Diego versus being in Ohio. Income's a little different here for you to live. You got to make money. So you do two things. I know you're a mortgage expert. Then you also have a side business? What? Or let's talk about all your businesses that you have.
It's secret, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
No, I just think that I've had a lot of great mentors in front of me that have taught me a lot of different things. I've been able to take those lessons and try to kind of, expand on them, right? Like some of my friends that have pivoted and went other ways, some other friends have stopped doing something that they loved and then started doing something else because of, the income requirement that it does take to live in Southern California. And there's no disrespect to anything that anybody wants to do, but like for my pathway was I understand I'm creative, I'm a connector like you guys as well too. And so how do we use those skills to be able to do more and more and more? I just happen to like finances. I like to put the numbers together, the stereotype of the Asian man with some math or whatever else. Hey, it's better than nothing, right? So I'll take that. I'll own that. And then that led me to finances. When I first came to San Diego, I had thought about, there's kind of pillars in life, whether that's taxes, whether that's financial planning, whether that's government work. And for me, I always thought real estate was really cool. The ability to learn, the ability for people that create generational wealth from real estate. And then also the ability, like for me, that was always top of mind is real estate is one thing that you can improve its value as an asset that normally you cannot. If you go buy cryptocurrency at whatever it is today, you can't do very much to improve that value. But if you buy a home, you can do some things. And like learning those lessons, I'm a first generation citizen here. Okay. I didn't have that in front of me. My parents didn't teach me anything about that. So I was always intrigued, and several really important people in their lifetime took me under their wing. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. And that was really cool because, I learned from all their years of experiences and all their mentors before them. And I'm forever grateful for that. So every time you see me, that's why I'm asking questions. That's why I like to connect with people of all different ages, races, genders, whatever it may be. I'm a sponge to those kind of things.
Who were two of the mentors that you can think of?
Yeah, right off the gate, there's one gentleman by his name is Smitty, Ed Smith Jr.
Shout out to Smitty.
Shout out 100%. This gentleman, he came from a political background, a law enforcement background, armed forces background, so many different things, real estate background, lending background. So I was like, you got to be able to teach me some of this. Like, give me
some gems.
Yeah, drop some jewels on me, do whatever you need to do. So he's one for sure. I consult with this man like weekly, and he's
still
100%. Like
awesome.
Maybe a couple of times a week, whenever I need to. Another gentleman that's a newer introduction to me, his name is Bob Watkins.
Okay. Shout out to Bob Watkins.
Shout out to Bob Watkins. He's on the board of governors at the University Club, and he's been a mover and shaker for many, many years. He's been around talent. He knows how to recruit talent. He was the former CEO of VA Haas. And he's just been kind to me, right? Like challenging me as a person. Why did you say this? Or why did you look at something in this manner? Same time, like trying to push you a little bit, right? What are you going to do next, Andre? Who are you going to help? What are you passionate about, and what are you going to give back? So, I think that we all kind of need those mentors in our lives. Just, I'm sure that you guys have had some mentors. I mean, Roosevelt, you're the third, and you're teaching the fourth. So that's wonderful,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about mentors that's going to make their long journey your shortcut.
I love that.
So you definitely got to have those in place. And I like to just say, I'm not better than anyone, but my mentors may have been better than your mentors. You know, so I definitely see and hear your vision, and we appreciate that. That's why we got you on the show.
Absolutely.
I thought I had paid Nikian and drinks in Vegas. That's how I got on the show. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was a conference that we were at.
Couldn't walk, man. I would have went with you. I promise.
There you go.
So let's talk about some of your streams of income.
Yeah, so for the last 20 years, I've been in real estate and lending, majority side of like consulting as well as management side of things. We have a team of loan officers that do loans nationwide on the residential side. I got this Burr shirt on, so we teach educational courses on Burr. For those that don't know what Burr is, Bigger Pockets is a real estate community that's made this popular. It's been in real estate for a long time, but they've kind of like popularized the term buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. So I'm a subscriber in that. If you know, by doing residential loans or being in real estate, those are covered in all those different pillars there. Right. Do some more things, but the other thing that's kind of on the stove, like cooking really hot right now, we have a new show called The Invitational.
Okay.
And it is a show that we're doing with the University Club and the Invited brand.
Nice.
Basically what that is the University Club is San Diego's oldest business and social club, and they are part of a former network called Club Corp that has about 250 locations that are social and professional and country clubs.
Sure.
So we're just going around meeting cool people and having a conversation about how they're being impactful and giving back to their communities. So those are kind of like the top level things, and I have other things that I'm always trying to brew upon. But yeah, those are the main things as of right now.
Yeah, so some of the stuff I want to cover that he talked about, the University Club is, like you said, it's a national association. So they're in like Tampa, Florida, obviously San Diego. But if you're in an area and you're new, that's a place where you can kind of go and meet professionals that can kind of help put your business to the next level, also help meet mentors, things of that nature. I don't know who you would talk to, but I'm sure you could just look up University Club where you live at, and it will show a University Club. And you become a member. With that membership, I mean, when I moved to San Diego, first 6 months, I didn't go to the U Club, but people were telling me to go to the U Club. And then I was like, I don't know, it's kind of expensive because I had just moved here and everything else was so expensive. But I kid you not, as soon as I went there, everybody that I was trying to meet was there. Every Friday they'd be there. And then it's more like their guard is down, so you can actually talk to that person to person. You're not saying, hey, give me business or any of that stuff. You just try to get to know them, figure out if you guys have something in common. Because you want to do business with people you like, at least at my age. I don't want to deal with anybody that doesn't like me.
For sure.
And I don't want to be in their space if they don't like me, or vice versa. I don't want you to deal with me if I don't like you. So that's a big gem. And then
hold on, we're gonna make this real quick for anybody that's listening and watching. Reach out to Nakia, Roosevelt, or myself, and we'll get you connected.
Okay, perfect.
Make it easy.
Perfect.
I like how you said that. That's like a Mac 10 Dub C Nice Q. We can get you connected, but I echo what you were saying, Nakia. The University Club could definitely be like a nucleus of business.
Yeah, because that's the hardest thing. When you move to a new city, you don't know anyone. You got to join like social networks, not like just online social networks, but person-to-person social networks. It could be workout clubs like Run Club, University Club. The list goes on and on. If you look up like social clubs, that's how you can kind of get yourself where you can get boots on the ground and actually make friends.
Build your tribe, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
Definitely fun. And when you go to U Club, find your bird tribe.
Yeah.
Be observant.
Yes.
And identify, eagles, and associations.
100%.
Yep. So let's get back to, I guess you were talking about lending. Let's start there.
Yeah, we chatted a little bit about it before we got on the air today, but, the strategies of real estate have created so many different millionaires. And the thing that I always go back to, right, as the first generation is like, you don't have to like be a flipper. You don't have to do millions of these deals. If you do one right, it could change your life. It could change your family's life forever, right? You could be that starting point, that inflection point, like, hey, passing down one home, especially in Southern California, it's going to be easy that somebody's going to be a millionaire down the pathway if you do it right.
Sure.
And what I say by doing it right is when you acquire real estate, mortgages are a very unique thing, right? Number one, they help you finance your largest liability for 99% of the people out there.
Sure.
So just think about that, right? If you bought a home and you had a $500,000 mortgage and you had a 6% interest rate on it, or somebody else had a 2.5% interest rate on it, that could change your life dramatically, right? You can invest that money, you can do other things. And we spoke upon it a little bit. Financing and using that to get the largest return on investment. A lot of people think if you buy a home free and clear, all cash, right, that's the best way. But technically speaking, if you finance that home because you've put less down, you can invest in other things and get a higher return on investment, cash on cash returns. So that's kind of cool, right? And then for what it's worth, before I got into the business, I had no idea about any of this stuff, right? Mentor One taught me. The loan officers around taught me, learning in these kind of conversations taught me. You hit upon it being part of a community. A local real estate association is a really good community to be in as well too, right? Like-minded investors, like-minded people that are interested in real estate. So That's another place that we had some fun. We used to go to young professional networking events at multi-million dollar residences, right? Yeah. I didn't have the ability to walk into a $40 million mansion when I was 30 years old, 25 years old.
Yeah, we get put out.
Exactly.
No, but that's definitely a great tool to kind of leverage those societies or communities to get you in a room, get you in La Jolla, to get you in a place that you may not know someone. And just because you're associated, then that propels you to where you need to go.
Most
Meet
definitely.
the right people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing about lending, too, that I always thought was cool, I have all the love and respect for my real estate brothers and sisters out there, but I don't like driving around. You know, that's not my thing. You know, gas is not cheap right now.
Yeah,
but even before that, I always like to see the journey of an investor, right? Like when you take a loan application, you see people's credit, you see their finances, you see the other properties they may own. So like helping thousands and thousands of clients out. Wow, how did you get this investment? How did you get that first property? Why is this, how did you get an 8-plex? How did you get your first commercial property? Those are all things that still I learn every single day, no matter who's it from. Mm-hmm. And even on the flip side, when things became challenged, we had a real recession in 2008, right? Yep. You had a credit crash, you had a real estate crash. So how did people kind of like take those challenges and then make them triumphs?
Sure.
So that was really, really powerful. And then just kind of understanding, there's so many different ways to achieve your goals, and it allowed me to see how other people achieve their goals just as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the best way to make money is to borrow money instead of spending your own money. Like you hit that right on the head.
OPM?
Yeah, because if I pay my house off today, I don't owe anything, but then I want to have a business opportunity that I want to get into, I got to go put the house back into a mortgage, and I have to prove my income to get the money back. So, like, people will rush to pay off this house when they could be using that money to do other things. And it's not a bad thing to have a mortgage payment as long as you don't have to overpay for the interest if you're leveraging that money to get more money.
100%. And, the ability to leverage that money to create passive income and or rental income. Mm-hmm. Some people, like as a really quick example in real easy layman's terms, if people are buying like an Airbnb or VRBO type property, your mortgage may be $3,000 or $4,000, but if you're renting it for $10,000, mm-hmm. A mentor of mine one time told me, you write small checks to cash big checks. Yep. Would you trade $4,000 for $10,000?
Right.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and at the end of the day, that's an asset that you're putting down 3 or 3.5 or 5%. You put that money down on that property, and then you keep paying the balance down. But then, as long as the value appreciates, you're making money just by making your normal payment that you would do anyway.
And I think you also had a esteemed guest, Lance Groth, on here recently. Yeah. Learning the 1031 tax code. Mm-hmm. Imagine saving up to $500,000 tax free. Yeah. That's real, right?
That's super real.
Versus on the flip side, you're paying 33% tax. You're paying $150,000 to Uncle Sam for no reason. Mm-hmm. That's super real as well.
Super real. Yeah, and then if you pass, your children don't inherit, those taxes. These are high level. Now this is season 2, so now we're getting to the high level stuff. This is what I get in, and I did lending for 23 years, so I'm very familiar with it. Me working in the banks, I would see people that make $24,000 a year and look in their checking account and they have like $78,000 saved. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking a guy, I made more than him, and I was living check to check. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, can I ask you, how do you save the money? And he's like, I'll tell you, unless I need something, I don't buy anything.
There you go.
And I was like, man, so
frugality.
Yeah, he's like, I got the same pair of shoes, a couple shirts. I don't buy the fancy car. Like, I'm thinking like, man, I just got a new car. Buy some new gear for the night to go.
Are you talking about me, sir?
But that's the thing. Like, as I'm getting older, I'm learning that if you borrow money to buy an asset. You don't borrow money to go on a trip. You don't borrow money to buy, the Gucci bag and all that stuff.
I always say this, everybody's got a life to live. They can do what they need to do. But those things that you just mentioned do give you a higher probability of having financial success, being able to retire earlier, and then go on to different ventures, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. Sometimes you want to show out. Sometimes you want to do your thing. Like, do that if that's what you need to do. But at the same time, there's been blueprints that have been laid out before us that have told us how to achieve these other levels of success.
Right.
That's pretty cool,
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you saying success leaves clues.
100%.
You can look at the billionaires and see what they have on.
Yeah.
And then you look like people that got $100 and see what they have on.
Yeah.
So I agree with you saying.
Yeah, 100. You get that Mark Zuckerberg dress code, same shirt,
Yes,
Steve Jobs,
Right.
same thing every day,
Right. With a millionaire mindset.
100%. 100%.
I mean, once you really have money, I mean, does it really matter if you think I'm broke? Like, doesn't matter.
Well, I guess money changes people some different ways, right? It could be good, it could be bad. You never know.
You probably want them to think
I seen a news show. They were saying how people are wearing used clothes.
Okay.
And then so I have a question. Would you wear some used workout wear?
Workout wear.
So like
Spandex?
Lululemon gonna sell you some pants, or Nike gonna sell you some sweatpants that have been
Pre-used.
I think
pre-owned.
they have a certain word in marketing. It's a little bit upgraded from refurbished or something.
Refurbished.
Right.
That's not a good word, but other like gently laundered.
worn.
Gently laundered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have Mercedes are pre-owned and pre-used, so we have to change our mindset. I'm just thinking of ways to have that $1 million mindset as we strive for excellence, strive for financial freedom.
So to repeat the question,
I think for me, if I'm being honest, I'm not rocking the used clothes, but I would other stuff I don't mind. But somebody's used shorts and I'm cool.
Well, I'll be candid. I still shop at the Goodwill.
Yeah, that's different. We talking about like underwear.
Somebody sweating that thing.
Cool on that.
That's the question I propose. No sportswear.
Yeah. Okay. So like a used jacket or suit. I mean, I've had hand-me-downs in my life, so yeah, of course I would.
yeah, I think for what it's worth, depending on what it was, like if it was a pair of shorts, all right, I'll take it to the dry cleaner afterwards and figure some things out.
Bingo.
I'll give it a shot,
Right.
But if it's got a little different stain in the background, that's a little bit bad. That's a little bad. You can't do that.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was on 60 Minutes. I thought it was shame.
Fair enough.
So with the current market now with lending and stuff like that, how are you seeing that adjustment that people are making from like the higher rates to the housing market? How are you seeing the impact?
Yeah, I think when we teach our loan officers as well as talk to our real estate and referral partners out there, it's a presence of having past, present, and future. Mm-hmm. So the general market for interest rates on average is somewhere between 4.5% to 6.5%.
Sure,
we're on an average market, right?
Mm-hmm.
The things that happen during the pandemic and 2s and 3s in the rates, that's great. But if you didn't have a chance to take advantage of it that time, it's a little bit more challenging to take care of now. But overall, in terms of the trends of everything, I think rates are pressing up, but they're starting to stabilize in that 4.5% to 6.5%. The cool thing that I learned from a mentor a long time ago is like when you really become a valuable asset for your client is when you have the ability to, I guess, get them things that they normally can't get. So one thing that we teach is like giving them back time. What I mean by that is the use of discount points to be able to drive those interest rates down back to historic levels.
Sure.
Not everybody knows about that. Not everybody knows on when you do a purchase, can you get the seller to pay for seller credits in order for you to lower those interest rates? Using buy down programs, using an ARM versus a fixed rate loan. I know a lot of people in the past were not big fans of ARMs, but there's a time and a place for each of these programs and products, and you should be working with a professional that knows your specific scenario and how to benefit from that. But anyways, that was a long answer to, real estate will always be an opportunity if you know how to use it and look at it correctly. So that's what I'm enthused about, right? There are so many people that were stressed out, couldn't get an offer accepted in 20, 30, 50 tries, right? Mm-hmm. This is your time right now to go figure out what you want to do. You can figure out that home is on a discount. If you sign up to any of these kind of Zillow or Redfins, you're seeing price drops all around.
Right.
You got some opportunity, right? Are you going to look that in the face and turn away?
Right.
You can.
No, you hit it on the head too, because depending on the loan officer or the realtor, if you're dealing with a professional that has went through these wires before, they haven't just got into the business in the last 2 years where it's like Candyland and rates are low and everybody's saving money now. This is like real professionals time. Like the big boy pants have to be, or the big person, because there may be women as well, but big person pants have to be on, because somebody will tell you, hey, do a rate buy down or pay the points, and then in the next 2 years the market could change again. Now you paid the points and the rates are dropped again. So ARMs are not a bad thing. For whatever reason people believe they are, but everybody's specific situation. Like, if I'm going to be in San Diego for the next 2 years, why am I going to do a 30-year fix? Why not do an ARM or maybe an interest-only loan? Because for sure I'm leaving in the next 2 years. Let's say I was a veteran or whatever, my orders are for me to go. I still get the benefit for those 2 years of owning the property. The value continues to go up. Then my exit strategy, I either rent it out or I sell it, and then for those 2 years, I got some some equity I made for a low interest rate.
100%. You know, that's why I say you got to work, just like you said, who's your team, right? That's one thing that we've always stressed in our classes, teaching our loan officers, working with others, like, who is your team? When I think of, I'm a huge fan of athletics, you know, everything, but it's like these individual athletes on all these different teams, who is part of your team? Who's your coach? Who's your trainer? Who's your, you know, teammate? And then you already know those, you know, those sayings, you know, the 5 people you surround yourself with are going to be a reflection of you as well.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's touch on the Burr Strategy and how you got involved in that.
Yeah, just, you know, myself a long time ago, I always wanted to be able to expand on the things that I've learned, right? You know, when that first recession hit in 2008, I was like, woo. Am I staying in the industry? Am I going back to school? Am I going to tuck my tail and turn? But through all that, right, is like using all those things that I've learned, like working through these different programs, whether they be conventional renovation loans, construction loans. That got me to a point that when I was reading these other books, like there's a book by David Green, which is the Burr Strategy, which is wonderful. It's a great overview of everything. My difference maker was the fact that I used a lot of these strategies. They tell you to use other people's money, but at the other people's money, it may be at a high interest rate for a very short term, which, hey, that might serve its purpose. But me personally, and you know it as well, Nakia,
right.
If you could get a 30-year fix versus a 12-month loan, if you get a 30-year fix at 4% versus a 12-month loan at 10%, it's pretty simple what you may be able to do.
Sure.
So using that leverage point, I continued to teach. And then on the Burr side of things, if you just, I mean, on the buy side, we offer purchase loans for people. On a renovation side, we offer renovation loans for people.
Right.
On the refinance side, we offer refinances for people.
Right.
So as I built the teams up all throughout the country, in addition to that, we had more and more students in there. It just was natural. And the other thing was how do you multiply time, right? I don't know how many conversations I had about Burr individually one-on-one.
For sure.
Before I was like, man, you know, I should be speaking to 20 to 50 people at a time. Let's figure this all out as a group. And then for what it's worth, I'm a big believer in, you know, just one more chance meeting might change your life.
Absolutely.
So the fact of, hey, my contractor didn't do this how I wanted to, but maybe you have the best contractor ever available, right?
Sure.
Easy introduction. I know a person like yourself going to share the number, and I appreciate I'm going to share something with you in the future, right?
So, right. I got you, Doug. Whatever you need.
Yeah, I like that. I appreciate that. Multiplying time by multiplying yourself by having your team speak the same language as you.
100%.
Beautiful.
You know, like, I think that's why we were in this room sharing those resources, right? You guys know for a fact 100 different people that I don't know. I know 100 people that may help you in the future, and that's the beauty of it.
Right, and not to be selfish and keep like information that's why I made knowledge the currency. Is you're selfish if you know information you're not willing to give it to people, or you're just being lazy. And you know this information, you got to pass it to other people so that they can have their reach their goals or their dreams. If you don't, that's just, to me, it's just selfish.
Yeah, man. The more you know, the more you owe.
Yeah, that's 100%, true. 100%. That's a fact.
You know, another thing too is like Robin Sharma had talked about, like the ability to create a legacy. So like legacy for him, he had mentioned you could plant a tree, you could write a book, You could have a kid, so some of those things. And I was just thinking about that back and forth, and I thought if I could teach a course and teach people and they could continue to do this and I could see the fruits of their labor, right? Hey, 5 years from now when you got $500,000 worth of equity and you've bought 2 more homes that create passive income of $10K, I'm happy for your journey.
Right.
Like that's really cool, you know, for you to do that and then show your kid how to do that. Yeah, those are lifelong lessons to continue to pass on blessings. So
and changing legacies of families just with that's powerful, man. That's dope.
It's really cool, you know. And then for what it's worth, I wish I had that before I started to learn that. So it's like I felt, like you said, the more people I owe it to myself and my family to pass on that information, so it doesn't stop with me.
Oh, absolutely. So then, how long is the course?
How long is the course over itself?
No, yeah, that you have.
So we've done 2 courses. They were 5-week courses, and those are already completed. So we're working on 2 things right now. Number 1 is the ebook of everything. So the cheat sheet, the resource guide. Sure. Hey, if you're looking to start this is where to begin. And then on top of that too, I think we may do an in-person kind of BRRRR event. Nice. Maybe like instead of like a 5-week thing, maybe we do it like it's a 2 or 3 day thing. Okay. I'm learning, you know, like I'm trying to figure out from Neil. Neil did it a 1 day thing and he hit it out the park, right? Yeah. Yeah. Gary V on that thing. He had Ed Milet. Cool. Maybe I start as a baby step. We do it for, you know.
I got people in my network that I can help you any way possible. So that's no problem.
Awesome.
No problem.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you want to do in-person event. You have ebook coming up. You still have the courses. Do you record and then they just watch the courses, or how does it work?
Yeah, so those first ones are more live, interactive. Okay. But I think that'll be in the development as the webinar that's evergreen. Yep. So, you know, I didn't know all these things, right? I'm a sales and management guy doing loans. Like I have no idea, like, you know,
how to start a course.
How do you put the funnel in here? How do you do this? Then it's
curriculum.
Like, exactly.
I mean, but that's beautiful. So then how'd you decide on what to do? Did you get on YouTube University, or did you ask people around? Like, how'd you decide?
A little bit of everything. I'm a true believer in, like, I think Ed Milet said there's some people are uniquely able to coach you or to teach you because they've done it before. Right. I found a guy, if you guys understand the Multiple Comma Club, so he developed sales funnels to help people make $1 million plus in sales. Okay. So his name is Drew Burks, and he helped me out with that. So just kind of working back and forth. And then it was funny because he used to be the Realtor of the Year like so many years ago. Then he got out of the business, and I continue to follow him. And he helped us build that platform. Okay. And we took his course. Nice. And then we just went from there. And then I even told you, like, I'm a heavy mimic, you know. Oh yeah, yeah. I like your stuff. I'm gonna mimic that. I'm gonna mimic that. I'm gonna mimic that. So that's what I do.
Well, that's one of my mentors told me is we're all unique in a way, but what you do is you steal things from people that you meet along the way. 100%. And that's what makes you you. That's what makes me me. So hopefully you steal good stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess the audience will tell you, right? So that you got to kind of test, learn, and apply. Test, learn, and apply. I like that. Cool. Let's keep that in here. Right. Nobody got any value out of that. Strike through that thing right there, you know?
So. It's like fish. Take the meat, leave the bones.
100%.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So with your first BRRRR strategy on your own investment, could you kind of talk about it?
Yeah, 100%. So number 1, bought a home. I put 5% down. Okay. So it was easier for me. Yep. I wanted to save some money on the background of everything. Even before I did that, I was watching with my real estate partner, so there's things called comparables, sales comparables. So looking around this neighborhood that I thought was location that was wonderful, I saw these other homes that were couple $100,000 more, right? Okay. And so nowadays we have these tools such as Zillow and Redfin. You could put in any address across the U.S. You can kind of see what it's like, right? Oh, they have a white paint, they have fence, they use hardwood floors, they have this, and this. So it gives you visual blueprints of what that you can buy. Sure. So I bought a home that was very well valued, right? And then from there I turned around. This was just happenstance, but the value of the home increased, but even though that was just because of the marketplace, I was able to do some of those renovations to mimic some of those other homes. And so it's increased in value a couple $100,000. So I'm excited about it.
Right.
But I'm most excited because that increase is now going to allow me to access more equity to do it again.
Okay.
The final R, right? The repeat.
Okay.
But, just for me, during the pandemic and everything else, you want a place that you could call home.
Sure.
Rent is
high.
Nobody's friend. It's always continuing to increase. And then just living out my true self, right? Doing the Burr Strategy, buying with the best kind of financing, renovating the home to improve its value. I didn't rent the home, but I'm about to. I'm waiting for some permits to create an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit. So now you're creating passive income.
Yeah, shout out to Hennish. He was on the show talking about ADUs.
Yeah, Hennish is a great guy, for sure.
Kyle Homeco.
Yeah.
So then, now that you got the place, you're saying you're going to do it again. So the next place, this place in California, obviously, so the next one going to be in California as well, or can you do it in other states?
Number one, California is kind of a fickle market, right? Mm-hmm. Number one, just because of the fact that it's so highly priced and it's highly competitive.
Sure.
So I am looking at that just because if I'm going to rent at a high dollar for my current place and get another one, I need somewhere to live, right?
Sure.
I need somewhere over my head, unless I take that trip to Bali and I'm gone for 2 or 3 years. But hey, you never know.
Remote lifestyle, working from the beach.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, I have roots in Ohio.
That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah, so you could get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot place for $200,000-300,000. That same home here, $950, right?
Right.
So what are you going to do? Maybe I take the money, I buy 2 or 3 of those projects and be able to continue to learn, continue to apply, have some friends, have some opportunities. So co-invest with others. At the same time, start to look at buying multi-units as well too. That's another way that you can kind of exponentially increase your opportunity.
Yeah, it's to get multiple doors to me, I feel like they teach us the opposite. We should buy multi-families before we buy single families. Like your single family should be the final goal. Like once I get my forever home, but right off the bat, when you're first getting started, you'll be able to be qualified easier if you buy a multi-family. You'll be able to get rental income right away because you get a multi-family. You're putting the same amount of down payment on a multi-family. If you buy the single family, now they're going to want you to put down 20 or even 25% to get that investment, and then people can't save that much.
Yeah.
So they started the opposite way. I mean, they may be 23 and be upset like I'm living next to someone, but look at the bigger picture. Like, hey, my goal is to have this multifamily to help me get that house on the lake or on the ocean or whatever your goal is.
Yeah, I think there's so many different paths. That's why real estate is exciting. Nothing's necessarily wrong. Nothing's necessarily absolutely the best strategy. You just try to make your best decisions if you can.
And he's like, balance. I'm like, no, it's wrong. It's wrong. We're almost done with the show, but if he has another question for you, we'll let you close this out.
I just want to know what's next, Andre.
Yeah, great question. Number one, we talked about moving some of those projects together. I'm excited by our shows lineup on some of the people that we have. But I think it's just a continuous journey for me, right? Like, I'm going to teach more people Burr. I'm going to connecting with great people like yourself. I'm going to try to forward my marketing opportunities and then just really connect. My whole thing is about connection. I've always been good. I was kind of like itchy or antsy during the pandemic, but you had to stay down and do whatever else. But I believe in just continuously trying to challenge myself with what I've had and opportunity wise as well as challenges, and then just growing and then giving back more than anything else.
You want to give your Instagram handle or any way people could find you?
Yeah, I think the top 3 things on Instagram and Facebook, you can find me at andre.k.kwan. You can look me up on LinkedIn. Those is usually where I'm mostly around. And then if you're in the San Diego or Southern California area, you'll probably see me face to face hopping around some meeting areas. So.
Or at the U Club?
Yeah, possibly at the U Club.
Okay. Well, I wanted to first thank you so much for being on the show. I think you gave a lot of great information and looking forward to building with you.
For sure.
And you're always welcome here anytime.
Thank you so much. This is great to learn from you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining Knowledge Currency. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Please do.